Hey, Pepin.
Yo, 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 yo.
You know, I've been thinking a lot lately about the relativity of our human experience.
Ooh, that sounds like very philosophical. I mean, what were you thinking?
You know how, like, you can see a color and I'm like, that's blue. And you're like, yeah, that is blue. But what if what you see as blue is what I would call green?
I mean, that could be the case, but it's a big topic to discuss.
I think it's a really big topic to discuss, Nate. I think we need to talk. Welcome back. So glad you guys could join us. I am here once again with my best friend Nathan. Pepin, how's it going, Pepin?
Doing well. How about yourself, Meter?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for asking. And we are joined today by the head of the NH Communities page, Kirsten. How's it going today, Kirsten? I almost said Kirsten.
Oh, it's totally fine. Good. Yourself?
Not too bad. Thanks
I'm excited
so much.
to be here.
We're really excited to have you. What you've done with the NH Communities page is absolutely amazing. It's been, 5, maybe 6 weeks?
Yeah, 6 weeks.
Less than 2 months. And it has over 1,000 likes. And people are loving what you're doing. And I am too, because it's highlighting things happening in New Hampshire. It's highlighting businesses in New Hampshire, and it's really putting the spotlight on people who are doing great things in this state.
Exactly.
And I think it's a really huge endeavor, and anybody who's watching right now or listening right now, you should head on over to the page and give it a like. We'll get into that more at the end of this episode.
Oh, and actually, we had one person saying hi to us. It's Christopher Ball.
Oh, hey, Chris. How's it going? He does Content Control, the music podcast based out of Podcast, New Hampshire. And a ton of other stuff, actually. But with all that said, so today we're talking about something really, really cool. We're talking about, we're talking about dirty crayons. But I wanted to talk briefly about color in general, and like the names of colors. They seem so arbitrary nowadays. And these were names given to these colors so long ago, and I'm sure they have great backstories as to why they are labeled what they are. But maybe it's time. It's 2019. Maybe it's time for new color names.
So I think the new color name should be hexadecimal, F1.
How could you turn that into a color? What? What color is hexadecimal?
So FF. That's white.
I don't think.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the color name is hexadecimal. It was green. Now get ready for hexadecimal. I think it's using the concept of hexadecimal to name the colors themselves, like the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah. There's no subjectivity to it now. It's just hey, this is color FF0000, which is red.
But
fair.
My issue with that is, and first off, isn't that a real thing already though?
Yeah.
So you're just saying use the scientific name for it, pretty much.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Fucking nerd.
It'd be so much easier. How much red does this have? Oh, it has 5 things of red.
5 units of red.
Yeah.
I'm super curious. How big would a crayon box be to hold every single possible hexadecimal code type of crayon?
That's a really good question.
Okay.
It would be massive.
2 to the 16.
Oh, he's going to do some math.
Hold God.
Hold on. 2 to the 16 times 2 to the 16 and 2 to the 16. Yeah, it's like that.
Wait, what?
There's your math. I hope you followed that one.
I gave you the math. You asked for it.
So my issue with hexadecimal as the color, yes, you're going to get a much more exact. I cannot just talk about black as a color. I can talk about this exact black. One, I think that may be too specific. I would like something that's more general, and maybe we could just take we can make one of the hexadecimal the general color, but I feel like it doesn't capture the essence of what the color means. I feel like it loses something when you take it to a purely scientific level. Is there not some sort of human element, some sort of emotional element that we can add on to the new names for these colors that isn't hexadecimal?
Yeah, I'm not quite certain. Kirsten, what's your thought on that? It's the whole emotionality of colors is That's black.
That all went over Nate's head. He's like, emotions and colors.
Like, it doesn't, okay.
I mean, just like how people have an emotional side to things, you know, there is a science side. So clearly you're just more focused on the scientific aspect of it. And just like, no, they don't need emotions. They just need like a category.
Okay.
Personally, I love emotions for, you know, the colors of crayons because then it adds like a funny or happy element to it.
Okay. So,
Other than just a couple of numbers with a hashtag.
okay, so 13, A1, 12. What does that make you feel?
Nothing. Is that like purple or something?
I have no idea.
I thought it was a steak sauce. But...
All right, color red. What's a dark red, like wine?
Literally, you just said wine, so now I'm thinking like either wine red or
Damn
Merlot.
it. Okay. Green.
Oh god,
Nate's
forest
favorite
green.
color because it's fucking money.
Ooh, yeah. Well, see, I'm more partial to blue now with the blue hundreds.
You know what? You know what our problem is? Is that Nate's problem is that he lives in America where the color of money is green. So that's the only color that he cares about is green. If we lived in like Britain or Canada where there were tons of colors on all the money, Nate would love all of the colors of the rainbow.
It's amazing.
That's true.
Also, a Canadian 10 is purple.
And they all smell like maple syrup.
I don't know. I never smelled
They're
them.
they're like infused with maple syrup, so the money actually smells like syrup.
Oh my god, I'm gonna
It's-
have to go back to Canada.
It's insane.
They smell like plastic.
You smell like plastic.
I want to try. I want to see. I want to see if that's real. I'm not saying it is or it isn't or I believe it, but I just want to try.
I'm gonna have some of my Canadian friends mail me some money that they've dipped in maple syrup to prove myself right. So go ahead.
So there's this idea that you're kind of bringing up in the intro. What do colors mean to us, right? Because maybe the red you see is the red from different than what I see. You know, it's like maybe colors aren't the same exactly. I kind of have a different take on that because it's the philosophical point of view is you can't prove that my red is the same as your red, and so on and so forth. I don't think that's true necessarily. I think there might be divergences and differences. I mean, for instance, some people are colorblind. Obviously, their red doesn't exist. But I think that if you take the brain structure, and the brain structure which kind of creates color and kind of interprets color is similar from person to person, you can say it's pretty much the same. It's like you have two different computers running the same program that's going to do the same, come up with the same output. So I think we can make an argument that it should be about the same, maybe a little bit different, but depending on like, you know, how your eye is and how everything's exactly lined up neurologically, but I don't think it's that big of a difference.
I'm on board with that as like a concept, but I think the thing with humans is that it's not two computers. There's an addition to humans that isn't exemplified by the use of computers in your example. Like there's an emotional element and there's a biochemical element that it's not just being a processor processing an image. It's more than that. And there's other things that, you know, that memory and past experiences and physiological makeup change how we experience things in general. So why would that be any different with all of our general experiences, color and things of that nature?
It's a pretty strong argument. I gotta think about that a little bit. Kirsten, is there any kind of moment in your life where like a certain color of an event kind of it bleeds in to your memory, into like your experience?
I guess typically like maybe carnival related colors because they're more bright. Plus, you know, being at a carnival definitely does provoke a lot of different types of emotions, like, you know, happiness, maybe some confusion here and there, trying to get through it and everything, because everything's meant to be, in a way, like distracting, I guess. I'm still trying to... I'm still trying to figure out exactly.
No, there's no wrong answer. Like, and a lot of the things I say are just made up on the spot. Like what I'm thinking in the moment. Nothing we ever say, I feel, should be like holding us down in. That's now how I feel forever because that's what I said in that moment. I think that's something that like politically really gets us in trouble because someone's like, oh, they're flip-flopping. Well, if they're flip-flopping back and forth on a day-to-day basis, depending on their crowd, that's one thing. But if they genuinely, like Hillary Clinton used to be against gay rights and now she's for gay rights, like if it was just because that's where the populace goes, one, I think that's a good thing because our elected leaders should be following what the populace wants. That's why we're electing them as our leader. And two, if she truly in her heart, like, had that shift where she realized her old views were wrong, she has new information that changed her mind, I think that's an okay thing. And I think that comes with podcasting too, is I say ignorant shit all the time, and then I get new information that changes my mind. It changes who I am. And I think that can apply to colors as well. We can see colors in a specific environment or have an experience that a color represents that experience in a way, and it can change that color for us. It can change who we are and how we view that.
So are you basically just talking about the, psychology of color and how it's supposed to affect you? To
a degree. And I know you've studied that quite a bit, so I'd love for you to give us some details on that.
So that's, essentially what makes sense to me. I typically don't look at things from a emotional perspective, even though I obviously do have emotions. But I look at it from an objective perspective, like red is supposed to...
Objective,
okay.
Yeah. So, red is supposed to either make you feel like angry or passionate or romantic. Blue is supposed to make you feel calm. Yellow is supposed to energize you. Also make you hungry for some reason. I don't know. You've probably heard that before, but the reason why fast food restaurants use mostly reds and yellows is because it's a trigger color to make you hungry.
Is there an explanation behind that, or?
I'm trying to remember, but I think it has something to do with that red, orange, yellow spectrum to be kind of more fast-paced, immediate, need it now. And when you're driving by a McDonald's, you might notice it a little bit faster than a Panera Bread, because Panera Bread's logo is kind of on the greenish color, lighter green.
Yeah.
So, there are different types of marketing strategies you can use with, the color of psychology to get someone's attention in the way that you want it to. You probably wouldn't want to use bright red and yellow for a candle, because candles are supposed to be calming. You probably want to use lavenders, maybe pastel colors, or even really deep colors, especially for autumn. If you go to any store right now, they're going to have a lot of, deep, relaxing colors versus energizing colors, which they really bring up during the spring and summer, because everyone's I want to go out and wear a bright yellow sundress and just kind of promote that energy, which is another thing that yellow kind of sticks to.
What you make me think of too is how people use colors in architecture to create different feels for spaces.
Yes.
Just even perspectively, because I've been watching these real estate videos, and this guy was kind of going over different houses and what you should do to make them better. And there's one house where the walls are painted a dark gray or something, and it's a small room. And he told the person essentially to paint the walls white, because for some whatever reason, when people see white walls instead of darker walls, it makes the space feel bigger. And then that increase in space is going to make them feel like the house is bigger. Then you're going to get more money for the sale. And it's weird, it even influences to that.
Yeah. That's literally how I look at colors, not, in an emotional form, but in a way to be effective to, society and to get what you want out of some
So
sort
how
of
you can
marketing
manipulate
campaign.
people using color. I understand.
Yeah.
That. Okay, now we're on your wavelength.
See, I don't like that you got more clinical than I did.
This is a very much a rarity for Nathan.
I'm going to have to say, after, going through school, getting a psychology degree, and now going back to school for getting a business analysis degree, I definitely look at all these different aspects of business and just, put that, as you had mentioned, Pepin, that kind of clinical feel to it. How does this work and why on society? And how can it improve my business or somebody else's business? I will say, though, as far as philosophy goes, I don't lean towards philosophy in general. Because when you were talking about, the philosophy of colors in the beginning, I was just oh, man, when I took philosophy class, I just got frustrated. Because no matter what, any student did in the class, the teacher would always turn around and play devil's advocate. And I'm just I can't keep just coming up with
there's
things.
no right answer.
That's the problem. There needs to be an answer.
You want something concrete. I think Nate likes to live in the ether of you're able to there is no wrong answer to a degree. although being right is one of his favorite things and one of mine, and that's why we get along so well, because I think we do a good job of playing devil's advocate against each other. But I think that what you're saying there just shows like how good you are at what you do and like how much your page benefits other people. So, but I think just to get back to it real quick, I think that you're such an expert in being able to get people to look at what your page is promoting, and knowing how to you use the word manipulate, not necessarily in this context, but I'll use it now in that way, not with a negative connotation though, more in a way that there are things that should be promoted, like the what is it, Artists for Autism. Like that's an that's an amazing thing that's being done, an amazing endeavor, and I think that that's something that people should be aware of and would want to be aware of. So I don't think it's that if you're manipulating somebody, with air quotes, to
do something good,
to do something or to look at something, I don't think that's a bad thing. That's always been my standpoint. I've said it on the show before, is I don't feel bad about clickbaiting somebody if the outcome is a positive outcome for both the user and other people involved, or even just the user. Like, if I clickbaited you into clicking something and you got enjoyment out of it, did I do anything wrong?
No, you didn't. I do want to mention, though, we are planning an event for them, New Hampshire Artists for Autism, over, in April, because that's when Autism Awareness Month happens.
Perfect.
So we're looking for people who'd be interested in, vending with us.
Yeah.
So like food, art, other small businesses. I figured I'd shout that out while we're live.
And there's a lot of different ways. Like, even if you're not, a food artist or an artist in general, in any capacity, I would highly suggest reach out to their page, reach out to either New Hampshire Communities or Artists for Autism, and just say, hey, I'm interested in getting involved in some way. What can I do to be helpful?
Yeah.
And I think that would be really a great way to get yourself out there. It can help promote what you're doing, but it can also really help an amazing endeavor that's going on right here in New Hampshire. But we'll stop plugging for a moment. Nathan's back. There was something. So I got. Let's completely take down the veil here. I was contacted by a company based out of New York that makes crayons, and that kind of created this entire conversation. Because they asked that we bring on their product on the show and talk about it. And honestly, we've done other ads before. And of course, any ad we've ever done, I love their product because they gave me money. But in this case, I love this product because I've seen this product in the past, and I thought that's actually a really funny thing, and I'm really excited about it. And anybody that I talked to was really excited that we were going to be talking about this on the show. So I have with me here today Offensive Crayons, and they have different names for colors. They're updating the colors for a new audience for 2019, for 2020. And I think that is outstanding. I'm so excited to get to talk about them, and I think it would be cool if we come up with some offensive names for colors and see how close they get to the colors that they come up with, and maybe probably they come up with something better.
Oh god, I'm gonna let you guys go first.
That's totally fair, because you want to gauge the level of offensiveness that we're willing to go to, right?
That is true. My personal page is very appropriate in case families join.
That's totally fair. That's super fair. So
I only might be mildly offensive.
Okay. Now these are gluten-free.
Ooh.
Just so you know, and non-toxic. So if you have these around your kids, it's totally fine. They're not going to get sick by eating them all up.
And they won't get the celiacs. It's amazing.
And they won't be affected by celiacs either. Absolutely.
Pepin looks super excited. Like he could just eat a box of crayons right now.
I'm actually kind of ready, to be honest.
Nate's hungry. Nate's starving for some crayons.
Well, those ones are safe, so.
That's true.
Just wait until the podcast is over.
Oh, damn it.
So which color would you eat first?
Well, I don't know what the color names are yet.
Oh, okay. So you would want to base it on the name itself.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with a pretty easy one. Let's start with this color.
Okay. So that color?
I think traditionally this is called white, right? Mm-hmm. Is that white?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
So
what kind of gray in this light?
I think that color would be called white power.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I don't know if you can use the color white to describe the color white.
Well, white power is one word.
Oh,
so it's
okay. Is there a hashtag in there? Or please don't use that hashtag. Please.
You could have.
I'm so sorry.
You could have the appropriate name and the inappropriate name, and if you really wanted to, the hexadecimal code. Right?
Just use the hashtag of the hexadecimal code, because doesn't it have a hashtag to begin it anyway?
And at the end of the day, you could just add your like PO box or something.
I'm not adding any of my addresses to hashtag white power. What the fuck? Okay, so I don't know. What about cauliflower? This is a good cauliflower color, right?
Yeah. It's not an inappropriate name, but
okay, that's a really good point.
I like it. It's kind of cute.
Okay, let's see what they call it.
I'm so scared.
They call it privilege. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Okay, so on the same vein as Nathan, except maybe a little less offensive. Theirs was on this case specifically. All right, pick a color. And then you have to tell us what the traditional color name for it is.
Does it have the traditional color name?
No, Nate, look at the color and tell me what the color is. What kind of a question was that? Like, I don't know what this is.
This is black.
Okay. It's black.
Mm.
How about long dong?
Oh, good.
Long dong? Okay.
It's actually a really good one. Oh my god, I'm so scared of what it's actually called.
That's a really good point. These are all going to be so scary.
I mean, you said white power and it ended up being privileged.
So you're worried about being more offensive than the crayon itself?
I like halfway yes and halfway no. I'm just afraid of like saying an offensive word.
How about black power?
Oh my god. Oh no.
Is panther offensive?
Oh, well.
Like the Black Panthers?
No, I mean, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Depends on where you are.
That's fair.
I don't think it would be.
Okay.
No. I mean, panther's also an animal, so it's like...
That's very true.
Yeah.
So is that your answer, panther?
I'll just say panther.
All right. This is Lives Matter.
Oh, there we go. So it's...
Okay.
Wait, is that black or blue?
That's black.
Okay. You want to pick a color?
I do.
I think it's black.
Okay.
I'm going to choose pink, obviously. I'm pretty sure I know what it's going to be called.
Okay.
Yes, this is pink.
This is... Okay, pink.
Okay.
Nate, what you got?
As for pink, I don't even... I'm going to come back to this. You go first.
How about just pussy?
Yeah.
That's pretty...
I'm glad you said it and not me.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
I figured that's what it was going to be.
I took it from your mind and put it out through my mouth.
Okay. The only thought I had was like intestines stranded on like clotheslines.
What? Intestines stranded on clotheslines?
Okay, I watched an episode of Game of Thrones the other day, and they had intestines hanging on trees.
Okay.
So
but the trees aren't very modern, so clotheslines.
So you think this is called intestines?
Hanging on a clothesline.
Oh, it's not though.
No, my favorite part is, okay, so follow this logic. He's watching Game of Thrones. He sees intestines on trees. So he's like, oh, but we're doing it for 2019, so it can't be trees anymore. It has to be clotheslines. What about power lines? What about something a little more modern than a clothesline?
Are you really... How can you get the power line? No, you got to like, whip it up there.
It's too high, he says.
You know, you're gonna get like
Anything is possible, Pepin. People will tie their shoes, throw it over power lines.
And then you know where the drug dealers are.
But then, what if you get, it starts spewing blood over you? Or you get, get on your back.
You know what? That's a really good point.
See, the clothesline's nice and orderly. Just put it right there.
So it's not intestines. Is it pussy? Did they just straight up print pussy on a crayon?
It's actually self-identified blue.
Oh.
So I think, is this the political one or no?
No, this is a normal one. We do have the political ones, but this is just the normal colors.
Huh.
Yeah, these are very political.
Yeah.
So far.
I wonder if it's mispackaged.
No, I highly doubt that. I think that they're just I think that's just what they're going with on this. I mean, that's political, but it's not political as well. It's like, what's that, LGBTQ type, going with trying to find representation for who you are in this crazy world where we're trying to figure ourselves out. And this is blue. This is new blue. If there's so we're talking about replacing the names of colors. Why not just reuse some of them? What if we just change the names of all the colors by mixing them up? This one's traditionally orange. Now it's purple. Love it.
Wait.
No, it's not.
So we have to guess what it is.
That's not a bad idea. Any guesses on what this color is? Because all of mine are vegetable related. This is a carrot.
A carrot-sized dildo.
Oh, that's a baby carrots.
Well, yeah, carrots could be any size. So is it a compliment or an insult?
Wait, how is a dildo insulting? Or a compliment? Okay, never mind. I don't want to get into that.
No, because you mentioned baby carrots. Mm-hmm. So, and he said carrot-sized dildo.
Okay. That's fair.
All right, baby carrot top-sized dick.
That's sad.
Is that Carrot Top as a baby? And you're talking about his dick?
Okay, no. Carrot Top's baby dick.
Oh, okay, I understand. So the baby is not representative of Carrot Top, but of his penis.
Yeah, I was trying to be offensive there, but...
Nate trying to be offensive, and you can't pull it off.
Nope.
This one's called presidential. So they're going for a Trump thing. Once again, kind of political.
Yeah.
Actually, about as political as you can get. It's literally the president. And we can just bust through a couple of these because there's so many. Guys, there's 24 colors in this package. So you don't just have, regular green. You have different shades. This is more of a blue, but I think it has green tints, right?
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. And if you want to see these colors in your own eyes, definitely buy the crayons. There's going to be a link in the description. We're actually going to talk about this a little bit more in the next episode. So if we haven't convinced you now, well, maybe we'll convince you then. So until next time, we need to talk.